Hey there, how are you doing today? If you're looking for an armband that's going to keep your mobile device safe and secure while you're working out and on your body, but not in your pockets, this video is for you. Now, we're talking specifically about the e-tronic armband right here that I have on me right now, the e-tronic armband. And one thing is what we find for those of you that may have a Samsung or a bigger mobile device is it's hard to find an armband that provides just the right fit. There's a lot of armbands online, and we know that the the other different phones have different sizes, and with Samsungs, they tend to have quite a larger size. I think there's some Google phones and a bunch of other phone brands out there, of course, but Samsungs typically have like a larger size. So first of all, it's hard to find a armband that's going to keep and hold the larger mobile device because a lot of them are designed for iPhones, of course. I mean, iPhones are great to be popular. A lot of people want to buy these things specifically for iPhones, and iPhones are quite a bit smaller. So to find just the right armband that also fits a Samsung device is going to be really tough, but I was able to do that with this. Now, here's the other thing. Is it going to keep your phone safe? Because that's the question I was asking when I had an armband. And the problem with keeping your phone safe, I mean, I have a Samsung. You can't see it right now because I'm recording with it, but Samsung is pretty big. So the Samsung probably, if I can, it probably comes out to about here. Like it's about the size of my head. Let me see right now. Yeah, it's about the size of my head right here. So as you can see, it's quite a big bit like wider. But if you have these other devices, right? If you can imagine this, just imagine that this had like a plastic covering on the front and it's supposed to be protective and you're supposed to be able to dial in your devices and all that. But if you were to keep your phone safe, if you already have a cover on a Samsung that adds even a little bit more width, and you already have a screen protector on your Samsung device or any other larger mobile phone, then trying to stick it into that sleeve, if you need to put it into a sleeve, then it's going to be a little bit harder because sometimes the sleeve, the plastic sleeve that you're supposed to be able to type through gets stuck and it sticks to the screen. So if you don't have a protective cover, if you don't have a protective case, then maybe that might be good for you. But if you already protect your device, you have a cover on it, which I think most people do, then having something like this is going to be incredibly helpful because these armbands or these bands, these rubber bands, I wouldn't call them rubber bands, but these bands stretch out. And at first, when you first try to put this around your Samsung device, which mine is quite a bit larger than a regular standard iPhone or something, a Samsung Note 9 to be precise. So, you know, at first it feels like it's really tight, but it starts to I don't want to say lose its elasticity, but starts to mold to the size of your phone to keep it safe and secure. And here's the thing, I'll go ahead and say this up front right now, that the one downside to this is that it is great for the Samsung, but as you can imagine, the elasticity of this eventually starts to lose after quite a few uses. And I'm talking the last one I've had about two or three of these. I can't remember. I think about two of these, and they each lasted about like 4 years of consistently going to the gym and all that. And I tend to keep these for a little longer than they need to be. But the only thing is although this keeps your phone nice and safe and secure, the one thing is that this piece, after a while, this starts to lose its grip, depending on how much you use it, depending on the size of your arms. And one thing that's great is, even if it does start to become too loose on your arms, I mean, this entire thing is made of this Velcro material, so you can get this relatively smaller, or as wide as you need. So, as long as you're able to fit your arm in there, then it's going to be very helpful. And also, this also has a smaller setting right here. As you can see, this is in the first slot. Now, if you pull this out, and this is where sometimes this starts to give way after, I don't know how many uses, but it took a while. Like eventually, after this became too loose and this came out, then I would eventually switch to this part right here, and you would just start to use it through the second slot as opposed to the first slot. So you get like maybe an extra inch there, inch and a half maybe of elastic use. So again, the elasticity on this part and the Velcro stayed pretty secure, but the elasticity part eventually starts to stretch out, and this part this part you need to put through on the other slot. So, over time, if you've got a larger arm, then of course, this will stretch out and you just need to switch slots. I mean, for the price, it'll probably last you at least, 3 years or so. But with that said, it is really tough to find a armband that's going to keep a mobile device that's quite a bit larger secure. And that's where this really comes in handy. Just just real quick, I don't use this key. So as you can see, there's a key feature that lets you hold your key in there. I've never used it, so who knows how helpful that'll be. And there's also another headphone piece right here that I believe allows you to stick your headphone cables through to keep it connected to your phone so that it stays nice and secure. I haven't used that feature because I use Bluetooth headphones, but the Bluetooth headphones, pretty much, I don't need these. But what I do love is this, just the idea that if you have a case on your phone, it's larger than the standard. You don't need a full cased sleeve that where you stick the screen in, and sometimes the button doesn't press. If you're just looking for a standard one that's gonna be elastic and keep your phone in there even while you're running, even while you're lifting weights, even while you're jogging or whatever it is, doing cardio or any type of intense exercise, that this is gonna stay on your arm and that your phone is gonna stay within this elastic piece. And I just love this design. It's so smart because it doesn't have to be for a specific phone. You can attach it to so many different phones. So, if you want to share with a family member for whatever reason, and this is pretty easy to wash. These are all materials that, you don't really need to worry about, and it's affordable enough that, you can have over a couple years that, the cost of it is pretty affordable. So with that said, real simple. You stick this Velcro piece through here, you stick it on your arm, strap it across, real easy, and there you go. You got your phone. You can turn it around if you need to. Just imagine there's a phone in here, it's facing up. If you need to check something, you just type in whatever, you look into it, check it, and then you just turn it back. And usually you just keep your phone like this most of the time, or you keep your phone like this. Now look, here's the other thing. Initially, when I got one of these, I thought it would look cheesy having a huge phone on my arm. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. If you've got a big phone, if you use an Android, if you have a ton of apps, if you need a lot of storage, if you do a lot of photography and you need the power of a larger mobile device, that's just the way it is, and you need something like this that's going to fit all of it. So, with that said, this is definitely the e-tronic. The e-tronic armband is definitely a great choice. Even if you have a smaller phone, I'm pretty sure. So I think this is about the size of an iPhone. So if you had like a smaller iPhone, this could fit the iPhone. And of course, if you have the larger phones, it stretches far enough and stays. This elasticity stays pretty sturdy. And the phone corners, the corners just go right into here and here. So it sits, and it's very secure. And then it sits on your arm, and it's a great fit. And this elasticity, I've had this one specifically for maybe a year and a half now, and I haven't noticed any reduction in the elasticity here. But who knows? Maybe it'll just last maybe 3 more years, or it could be longer. Maybe the one that I got maybe 4 or 5 years ago, they've improved upon the design of this elasticity, and this one that I have just happens to be higher quality now. I don't know exactly, but this is my second or third one, and I've been quite happy with the e-tronic, especially for my Samsung mobile devices, which are a bit larger. And here's the other thing. You want to make sure that your mobile device carrier, your mobile holder, this armband, doesn't prevent you from accessing any of the buttons on the side. And as you can see right now, that this does not prevent you from accessing any of the buttons on the side. These literally just go up to the corner, these just pop up onto the corner of your device. If you're looking for a new fitness band or armband to hold your mobile device, these just pop up onto the corner of your device, which leaves the side buttons open. And if you have an iPhone, so I don't know specific for the iPhone, but Samsungs basically have like buttons on the side, which this is perfectly designed for. But if you have an iPhone, I think there's like buttons on the top or bottom. So I'm pretty sure this will fit, but either way, there's a little bit of wiggle room if you do happen to need that space. And also, I've never had to use this, but I know on some iPhone or some Samsung phones you have the pen. So I've never had to, take out my pen while I'm at the gym to write something down. I usually just type it in. But if you need it, there is a slot right here for Samsung phones. There's a slot right here that you can push. Imagine the phone, and then there's a little pen here. You push it in, pull it out, and you just start writing. But you don't need to pop it in and out of the sleeve to access buttons. You don't need to buy one with the protective shield on the front if you already have protective stuff on your phone. Because otherwise, I mean, if you buy one with the plastic device or the plastic cover, right? There's a big sleeve. You've probably seen the designs for it. You got to worry about, okay, is it the right slot? Is it just for my phone? What if I get another phone? Can it fit? And this is one of the best things about this is if you end up going through another phone in a couple of years, I mean, this is just going to last you longer. I mean, ultimately, if you're buying new phones, you probably, could buy another one of these. But this has been a great one. Wash it. You don't have to worry too much about the thing falling apart because this is rubber, plastic. It's relatively affordable, and it does the job very well. Now, just as a caveat, I don't know exactly how this rubber stuff holds up against, harsh detergents and things like that, or, something chlorinated or anything like that. So just to make that clear, I mean, this is like a rubber, this is plastic, and this does have like a rotating swivel to be aware of, and there's other working parts inside. But as far as I can tell, these are not materials that are going to easily be destroyed. I mean, obviously, if you wash it and you leave it out in the sun all day, and then you don't touch it for a couple months, and it goes through all sorts of crazy weather, then maybe this is going to start to wear out faster. But if you just leave it in your car, I mean, that's basically what I do. I leave it in my car for the gym, and when I'm ready, I go ahead and use it. But this is absolutely great, and it's very adaptable to just about any arm size. That's another thing. There's so many of these out there that finding the one that's going to fit your arm size is very tough. And whatever they did, I mean, they thought about the design. Now, if you've got these huge Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lou Ferrigno arms and things like that, then you're probably going to want to see if this is going to fit on this. I mean, let's see. I could slip this on my arm. And yeah, I mean, this is the very last slot looking, and you still got some room right there. There's a few inches, so I'm guessing these will probably go up for someone up to maybe, I don't know, maybe 22-inch arms, which are pretty big in size. I'm guessing maybe 20. It's tough to tell exactly, but and then if you got some smaller arms, maybe if you're watching this and you're a female or a skinnier male, or I'm relatively skinny myself, so I use this piece. But if you are a significantly skinnier, all you need to do is use this second part right here and go ahead and slide it through the front slot, which is how I think it was supposed to meant to be designed, but it just doesn't fit my arm. It's a bit too tight. You just, I guess you can do it like that. But anyway, it's a little tight here, as you could tell. But that is your option. And maybe, you decide that you want to have it like a beeper on your wrist. It's a little bit too big for the wrist if you want to do like a Power Rangers type thing, which I don't know if you do. But it's it's loose on the wrist and it's awkward. But, maybe the option's there for you if that's what you really, really, really want. So there you go. And this is a quick review. If you've got a larger mobile device, if you've got potentially changing phones and you don't want like a standardized, uh, you want like a one size fits most type situation armband, then this one's going to be for you. They did a great job of designing it. If your phone's already protected, if you've got a case, if you've got a cover and you don't want the sleeve and you want access to your buttons at all times, the buttons on your phone at all times, and you don't want to have to worry about whether it's going to fit, whether you're going to have to return it, whether it's going to fit your phone, all those things, this is a great option. The design fits so many purposes or many different mobile devices, and it's especially helpful, especially as some of the mobile devices are getting bigger, wider, and things like that. So I don't know if obviously this probably won't fit like a huge, like the biggest phones that you might find, or like a tablet or anything, but for Samsung Note 9, you can check out the dimensions online. This does a great job, and I think those Samsungs are quite a bit bigger because they have a lot more computing power and photography and all that. So with that said, check this out if you're looking for a new workout armband. It's the e-tronic. Oh yeah, and here's another thing. I mean, just looking at some of these other additions right here. I mean, if you have headphones and you're working out and they're constantly falling out, maybe it's because you just need to stick your headphones through here, stick them underneath into the mobile device, and it just makes it so much easier to potentially keep your headphones in. And again, I haven't used this feature, so this is a cover that goes over the keyhole. But if I quickly pull this out, you can tell that you could easily stick a key in there if you just want to use your house key. If you like to travel light, just be very efficient, then you can just travel with your house key. And again, this rotates pretty easily. You can just constantly use it. It's so easy and simple to use. And I've been using this for quite a while. I've only had to replace it once or twice to get a new one, and it's great. And when you're searching for these, the last thing you want to do is have to buy one and then return it, or buy 5 and then return 4 because they don't fit, or they're just not right. I had to go through a couple of those, and I just want to get into the gym. I just want to get working out with my phone not in my pockets, dangling around, hanging around, flopping, as I'm doing cardio. But I like to have music on me. I like to have sound. I like to have my Spotify, my Audible, my podcasts, and things like that. I like to have those on me so that I can listen while I'm working out and exercising. And ultimately, if that's what you're looking for, then this is going to be great. Because here's the other thing. If you're working out, your phone in your pocket is going to be constantly banging around. It's going to be constantly moving around, maybe smashing into like a corner, or like the weights, or when you're working out, you can't hold weights at your side without worrying about your phone if you keep it in your pockets. But with this, it does stay on your arms. The only time I really wouldn't use this is if you're squatting, or it does get in the way sometimes of bicep exercises, so you have to take it off and put it down. But that's just one of the challenges of trying to keep a mobile device on you. But simple enough, great, it lasts for a long time, and the design is great, very, very general, which can suit many devices. And with that, hope this helps. Thank you for watching this video, and happy working towards your fitness goals.